Hi, thanks for being here today. My name is Anna and this is Jasper, and today's class is going to be focusing on the thoracic or T-spine, which is this mid-section of the spine where the ribs connect. So this is an area that has inherently more structure and support, but it's also an area where a lot of us tend to sometimes feel a little stuck or restricted. So that's what we are going to be targeting today. I would recommend you have a block, but if you don't have one handy, it's not going to be a requirement. So let's go ahead and get started off on our backs. Excuse me, buddy. So sitting up here with your feet flat on the floor, the knees are bent, and just take a moment to let yourself sink in. You can soften your eyes if that feels nice. And just start to key into your breath. And then as you begin to breathe in and out through your nose, go ahead and take your hands and kind of wrap them around the sides of your ribs there. And as you inhale, feel like you can expand outward into the hands. And then as you exhale, just feel that kind of drawing back in of the ribs. So we're working to get this full expansion on your inhale. Just feeling that kind of settle back down on the exhale. Now we're going to keep this breath going, but grab your block and place it in between your thighs. Excuse me, bud. So we're going to push down into the feet, start to lengthen your tailbone toward your heels, squeeze your glutes, and lift up into a low bridge. And so we're maintaining this length in the spine. You want to make sure that your pelvis is not tipping forward and arching your back, and that you're not overly tucking your tailbone under. And so we're maintaining that length in the spine. We're breathing into the ribs. Then go ahead and take your arms, reach them straight up, and flip the palms up toward the ceiling. Take the left hand and pull the right fingers back. And if you would like here, you can add a little pulse with the glutes. And then switch your hands. Right hand pulls the left fingers back. And now go ahead and keep both of your arms up, but turn the palms to face each other. And then start to bring your arms overhead. And if you can't get all the way there, totally fine. I'm actually going to stay a little bit above that. And then still lengthening the tailbone down. You can quit that pulsing. And feel like you can grow the sides of the waist longer without changing the position of the spine or pelvis. So we're just lengthening upward there, letting the shoulder blades lift. And then just breathing into that space on the sides of your waist. One more breath there. And then you can slowly bring your arms all the way back down to the floor and then begin to lower your spine one vertebra at a time. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to take the block the thinnest way right in between the knee joints. Bring your hands behind your head and cup your skull here. And right where your thumbs are, probably at your hairline, See if you can lengthen the back of your neck more so that your chin will draw down slightly. We're going to try to keep that feeling. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale, lift up off the shoulder blades. Now look down at your belly. Take your right hand and kind of grab both sides of your ribs and see if you can pull inward. So it's like you're consolidating in your abs here. Right hand behind the head. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Take your left hand now to each side of your ribs and then pull in there. So we're drawing in and then we're pulling that down toward the floor. Left hand behind your head. Inhale to lower. Exhale, come up off the shoulder blades. This time take your right leg and reach it straight out there. Good. And then you can take the left hand, hold in, then feel like you can pull your pubic bone up, your top ribs, draw them down. Hand behind the head, foot comes down, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Left leg will reach here without changing anything else. Take the right hand to your torso, kind of hug in through the side ribs, pull the pubic bone up, pull the front ribs down toward the pubic bone. Left foot steps down, hand behind the head, inhale to lower. All right, adding on here. Exhale, lift up. Right leg reaches, and then add a tiny turn to the right, like 1 inch, but keep the side ribs hugged in. Take the left hand to the right side of the rib cage, pull in to help you get up a little bit higher. Nice. Hand behind the head, foot comes down, inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Left leg will reach. Add a tiny turn to the left, like 1 inch. Really consolidate. Right hand grabs the left side of the ribs. Pull in. Feel how that can help you lift up a little bit higher, harnessing the strength of your center. Hand behind the head, foot comes down. Inhale to lower. Nice work. So let's take the block on the highest setting here. And I'm actually going to use this blanket as a little pillow as well. So we'll take the block on the highest setting in line with your right hip. And then we'll bring the left knee over on top of the block there. Bring both arms out to the right, so you're stacking your hands. We're going to take the left hand, slide it across, and open up for a twist. And then we'll bring it back. And so see if you can think about turning from that midsection of the spine, the thoracic spine. Nice, easy breaths. And this last one, maybe you hold open. Notice maybe where you feel a little bit restricted. And just see if you can send a little bit more breath there. Great. And then we'll come back through center and just switch sides. So take the block on its highest setting in line with your left hip. And then we'll bring the right leg, the right knee over on top of the block. And then both hands reach out toward your left. So we'll take the right hand and we'll reach it back. And just going back and forth here a few more times, putting the emphasis on moving from that midsection of the spine. And then maybe this last time you hold it open there. And then nice and easy. Coming back onto your side, we'll take the block away and come up into a tabletop position on your hands and your knees. Just gonna have to practice around the Westie. So in your tabletop here, bring your shoulders on top of your wrist and your hips on top of your knees, spreading the fingers nice and wide. So we are going to do what is called a thread the needle. We're going to take the right arm, thread it under the left, push the floor away with the left hand, and then turning from the ribs, lifting the right arm up. So right arm threads under, push the floor away, turn from the ribs, and open. Let's do about 3 more on your own there. And think about only moving as much as the ribs and that thoracic spine can take you. So we're trying to avoid cranking the neck around or moving much in the lower back. And if it doesn't move much at all, no big deal. Right, so we'll switch sides. Right hand lands, left arm threads underneath the right. Push the floor away with the right hand, turning in the ribs. Left arm reaches. Thread it under. Push the floor away and lift. Last couple here on your own. And then we'll come back into tabletop. Spreading the fingers, pushing down into the root of the thumb and index finger. Tuck your toes, now lift up in between the shoulder blades, and we'll pike the hips up for downward facing dog. So take a moment here, relax your head and your neck. And then just like we did in our bridge, as you push into the hands, can you lengthen the sides of the waist and really lift up into your hip creases? Take one more breath here. And then we're going to push into the hands here. Reach the right leg up and back. And step that foot forward. Try to keep your hands down. We'll lower the left knee. And keep the toes tucked if you're able here. So let's bring the arms into a goalpost. Shoulder blades are lightly drawing in. And now think about taking the tailbone and reaching it down. The left hip is directly over the knee, and we're squeezing this left glute. So squeezing it and lengthening that left glute downward. So your arms are in goalpost. You're going to take an inhale. Exhale, rotate just a little bit to the right. So think about the abs when you were drawing the side ribs in. Do that here. Inhale back through center. Exhale, slight turn to the right. Keep squeezing that left glute so the pelvis doesn't move. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Feel that isolation more in the T-spine, more in the ribs. Last one. Exhale, rotate. Now hold it here. We're going to bring the left hand down to the floor or a block, and then the right arm can reach up. So hug this left shoulder blade down away from the ear. You can even put your hand there, really hug it down. And then feel how you're lifting in the belly a little bit and then rotating through that mid-spine. You can let your head relax. Always the option to keep the back toes tucked under, lift the knee, squeeze that left glute. but wherever you are, one more big, easy breath. And we'll bring the right hand down next to the left hand, side lunge. So parallel your feet to the left, sit back into your left hip crease. So not letting the knee drive forward, sending the hip back. And then if you want to, you can reach the fingers over on the diagonal toward the right. Take some big full breaths into that left side waist. And then we'll walk our hands to the back of the mat here. Downward facing dog, left leg lifts this time. So we're going to go right into the second side. Push into the hands as you step that left foot forward. You can lower the back knee and keep the toes tucked if that feels okay there. Okay. So we're lengthening the tailbone down. The right hip now is directly over the knee. Squeeze this right glute. Bring your arms into goalpost. So lightly draw the shoulder blades together. And feel here how the pelvis isn't going to move with this. So we'll take an inhale breath. Exhale, slight turn to the left. And feel the work of your obliques here. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Last two, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Now hold it here. I'm going to take the right hand down, floor or block. Left arm reaches up. So feel like you can hug this right shoulder down away from the ear. Lightly lifting in the belly, that we're rotating in the ribs. You can just let your right ear soften toward your shoulder there. Give your neck a little break. If you want the option, keep those back toes tucked under, lift the knee, squeeze that right glute. And we'll bring the left hand down next to the right, parallel your feet to the right, and then we'll sit back into this right hip crease. So we're flexing at the hip there, keeping the spine long, and then maybe you walk the hands over toward the left on the diagonal. And big breaths into that right side. And then we'll walk our hands back around to the front here. Just come into downward facing dog one more time here. Take the feet a little bit wider. You can come up on the toes. And let's just do a little swivel side to side. We're taking the heels one direction and then the other. And then lower your knees. And we're just going to come around to a seat here. So finding any seat that is comfortable for you. You can sit up on a block or a blanket. And just take a moment there to just simply notice the difference in your body, in your mind, in your breath. Just allowing yourself to feel grateful for creating this time in your day to move and breathe, to feel a little bit more connected and a little bit more spacious. Let that be something that you take with you into whatever the rest of your day holds for you. Awesome. Great job today. Thank you for being here. As always, if you enjoyed this class, please give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone you think it might help, and subscribe so that you are not missing new classes that I post. So thank you. We'll see you next time.